Chapter 23. Tick-tock, tick-tock, how time flows. Away from you and me, hurriedly it goes. It was their last year of high school. Jenny and Agneta were both planning to go to university. They knew they needed to work hard to get the grades for the schools they wanted. Jenny felt the stress already after a few days and planned the coming months in detail. The homework, the rehearsals with the band and the weekly aerobics workout. It had been difficult enough last year. This year studies were even more important and Little Band had more gigs than ever. When she rushed into Pom-Pom's garage, at least 10 minutes late to each rehearsal, breathless after trying to do homework while eating supper and watching the news, she envied the others in the band with their 9-to-5 jobs. They seemed to have all the time in the world. Their relaxed attitude and slow tempo got on her nerves. Peter's life didn't change just because Jenny started going to school again. He worked on and off, lived in different places from time to time. When he was in Gothenburg, he was full of fun, ready for new adventures. Jenny really didn't want to say no to all his crazy ideas, but she explained she couldn't just go away on long trips, and they could only meet in the evenings and on the weekends. But not if she was rehearsing with the band, of course. Peter didn't like the restrictions. He felt as if walls were closing in on him. They discussed over and over again the importance of living now and not just planning for the future. Jenny argued that it was easy for him to say. He made money without having to work 40 hours a week. Pitt would shake his head and point out that Jenny could do whatever she wanted. If she just had the guts, she could make her dreams come true. Why not start freelancing now? Why do you like everyone else? The discussion was of the eternal kind. They went in circles, never reaching any conclusion. Most of the time, Jenny would end the discussion by saying she didn't have time for it. Other times, they would just look at each other in the middle of a conversation, laugh and kiss. One day, after they had been back in school for a month, Agneta and Jenny were having a quick lunch at Animal in the school canteen. Jenny had a book next to her plate. With a fork in one hand and a pencil in the other, she was analyzing poems. This is it, isn't it? It was hard for Agneta to hear what Jenny was saying, since she was munching on a piece of boiled potato when she talked. He works with opposites, the short moment, the long moment. She met him but didn't want to meet him, and so on. Jenny, we're on a lunch break. I know, but we're rehearsing tonight, so I don't have time to study then. What did you do yesterday then? Peter and I were at the test lesson in Tai Chi, King Kong, whatever it's called. Something about finding life force within and becoming less stressed or something. Agneta waited for Jenny to hear the irony of what she was saying, but she just continued eating and doing her homework. Agneta looked around the dining room. This school year was boring. All the good-looking older guys were gone. Keivan was gone. How do you cope with everything? She shifted her gaze back to Jenny. Jenny looked up from a book and thought about it. You know, it doesn't feel good at all. Peter is going to London tomorrow. He'll be gone for 3 weeks. Are you sad he's leaving for that long? No, and that's kind of scary. I'm almost relieved. Now I have 3 weeks to catch up with everything. The axioms in Swedish and maths, the gigs at Chalmers Rock Pub and at Fars Hut in Kungälv, and all the rehearsals. It'll be nice, calm. At the same time, I'll miss him. Eating his food, talking to him about everything. Sometimes I don't understand myself. Don't you want to be with him anymore? Agneta's fork had stopped mid-air. Of course I do. Not that we're a couple or anything, but no, I absolutely don't want him to disappear. On the other hand, she looked out the window, fiddling with a napkin. On the other hand, it doesn't fit my life right now. I simply don't have time. She frowned. He hates that phrase, I don't have time. Everyone has the same amount of time, 24 hours a day, he says. It's up to you what you want to do with these hours. And he's right, of course. That's what scares me. If that is true, how come I rush from school to aerobics to rehearsals to my desk to study almost every day? What I want most of all is to be with him, travel around the world and write about what I see. Am I a coward, or am I just being realistic? Is he just a dreamer, or is he the one who has understand what it really means to live? Jenny stared at Agneta, looking for an answer to the questions that had been twirling around in her head ever since she had met Peter. Agneta moved backwards, scared. She didn't know what to answer. It felt as if her best friend had outgrown her sometime during the summer. Their last summer vacation before the real studies began. Keivan had started at Handels, the business school. He was enjoying himself, feeling like a fish that had finally been put in water. The studies were going great, and he met Jenny often when the band was playing or rehearsing. He oversaw arranging all the gigs and negotiating their compensation, but Jenny was always there to discuss with him how to best do the shows, what gigs they should try to get, and how to grow as a band. They talked about different themes for different occasions: 70s, blues nights, hard rock, Madonna night. Jenny was her usual self, methodical and energetic, happy and constantly busy, and still finding time for everything. Keivan hoped it was only a matter of time until she would end the relationship with that Peter guy. When she did, Keivan would not wait any longer. He had waited enough. He wasn't going to be so nice, so namby-pamby. It seemed she liked the pushy types. Before Christmas, she would be my girlfriend, he thought happily. Maybe that could turn into a song. You'll be mine before Christmas. He whistled to his made-up tune as he got on the tram that would take him to Chalmers University of Technology, where they had a gig that evening. The show was a success. There had been several bands, several stages, and lots of people. After the performance, the members of Little Band joined the party and danced on the various dance floors to the DJ Club Svea Skivgarde's music selection. Jenny relaxed for the first time in a long while. Peter had been away for weeks and she had had time to catch up. When the DJ played I Can't Get No Satisfaction, the whole band danced together. Pom Pom also joined in, but instead of dancing he hit himself and others with his drumsticks. The next song was a slow song, so they all turned to leave the dance floor when Keivan stopped Jenny. She was surprised, but she put her arms around his neck and danced. It was a weird feeling. She was not used to having someone else than Peter this close. Peter was taller and he would hold her more tightly. Keivan danced more calmly and held her tenderly, almost as if he were afraid to hurt her. She closed her eyes, enjoyed the dancing and Keivan's comfortable, spicy smell. Before the song was over, she heard a familiar voice. Hey babe, I've been searching for you all night. Keivan and Jenny let go of each other. Peter stood in front of them, smiling. Jenny saw how the other girls looked at him and felt a completely unwarranted pride. He's looking at me. There are so many girls here, but he is looking at me. Excuse the corny line, Keivan, it's just an inside joke. Peter smiled at Keivan as he took Jenny's hand and led her to another place on the dance floor. There he wrapped his arms around her and gave her a long kiss. When his familiar lips touched hers, she thought of the first night they had met, when he had said exactly these words, and she became calm and excited all at once. How could she have felt relieved when he left? Now that he was here, now that she was dancing with him and felt his familiar scent in his strong arms, she felt perfectly safe. He was more important than the others, than school, than the band, than the training. If only he would stay. I missed you, she murmured. She thought he said he had missed her too, but it was probably just imagination. It was hard to hear anything else over the loud music.